Guys, we have another day of shifts and changes going on energetically. We have Mercury, our lovely messenger planet, ruling our thoughts and really the way that our mind is working, moving into Sagittarius today. This is definitely going to be bringing a mental shift for sure, moving forward throughout the next couple weeks. We also have the moon in Leo today, which is going to be forming a trine to Mercury, recently moving today into Sagittarius, the sun who just moved into Sagittarius, and also the south node as well. More of these faded endings and being able to really release the past and see things come full circle playing out energetically today as well. And we have Uranus, ruler of Aquarius, ruler of the age of Aquarius, shifting degrees today as well. Uranus has been a very active planet throughout this entire Scorpio cycle that we're in right now. So we could be seeing some shocks or surprises, some type of upheaval coming today as well with Uranus shifting degrees. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Wednesday, November 24th, 2021. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook of the day. Another day of shifts. We recently had the sun move into Sagittarius. Today we have Mercury move into Sagittarius. Like I said, this is definitely going to be bringing some changes in shifts in the way that our mind is operating over the next couple of weeks while Mercury is in Sagittarius. I will talk about this more in a minute, but I just want to run down some basic themes that we have going on today. First of all, of course, this Mercury into Sag is going to represent shifting thoughts, ideas, and understanding about things. There's also this theme of strategy and like calculated communication or interaction for the purpose of achieving some type of outcome that is being brought to us symbolically today by positioning of the planets. We also may see themes of things coming, like I said, that represent something coming full circle, the completion of something. Forgiveness and moving on type of energy very present this week with all of this south node activation. And we may have some type of strong and passionate emotions coming through today as well with the moon in Leo trining these planets in Sagittarius. And it's going to be based in love most likely and helping us to release old ways of thinking and old ways of thinking in order to liberate ourselves from limiting thoughts, Mercury, thought patterns, or belief systems that are just not serving us anymore. There is some type of completion with something that we are coming to right now with these planets coming into conjunction with the south node. We had the sun in conjunction to the south node yesterday. I was feeling like this was marking some type of faded ending, especially considering that we are in the window in between two eclipses. We had a lunar eclipse and we are building into the solar eclipse with our new moon in Sagittarius. And now that we have Mercury also coming to conjunct the south node in Sagittarius, while the north node therefore is in Gemini, ruled by Mercury, I do feel like this is marking some type of culmination, some type of ending point, some type of completion of a cycle that we are like cognitively coming to terms with, and also emotionally today with the moon trining these planets. That is helping us to release, move on, and let go these faded endings that I was talking about in my video yesterday, still relevant today and all week. And this is just more energy that is kind of pushing us in that direction. Very fiery thoughts and emotions today, possibly now that we have, the sun in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a fire sign. We also have Mercury now moving into Sagittarius, a fire sign, and the moon coming into early Leo today. Fire sign making the trine to Mercury, the south node, and the sun. So this is a lot of fire energy that we have going on today in terms of our emotions, in terms of our thoughts. So fiery thoughts, fiery feelings could be just sort of some undertones of the day today as well. Now, let's talk about the position of the sun today. This is a relevant sun that we have going on today, even though we are in Sag season, heading into Sag season and the sun is in Sagittarius, because like I said, we have the moon in Leo today. Leo is the one sign that is ruled by the sun, and so when the moon is transiting Leo, it has a tendency of speaking to what is going on with the sun. And today the sun is at 3 degrees of Sagittarius, and the Sabian symbol of that degree, or the specific degree described in a symbolic form so that we can have a better idea of how this particular specific point in the zodiac has a tendency of operating, the frequency that it discharges, is what is it? 2 men playing chess. So That's where I'm really getting this theme of strategy that we have going on today, the position of the sun, two men playing chess, really strategizing, seeing the bigger picture, calculated thoughts in order to achieve some type of outcome. And this is a relevant symbol today, not only obviously because the sun is here in conjunction with the south node, but like I said, we also have a Leo moon today speaking to the sun, to our sun. So there is possibly just this energy that is pushing us to be strategic, possibly in some type of a way about something today in terms of achieving some outcome, most likely related to letting something go. Maybe a prominent theme. We are still in the energy of fated endings, like I said, and with Mars in Scorpio as well. This is also very strategic and sort of behind the scenes, more secretive, practice planning type energy. So, if there's something that you need to communicate, maybe a difficult conversation that you need to have today, really strategizing what you're going to say, thinking things through, trying to see things from a higher perspective and sort of create a game plan or practice or prepare. That energy is quite supported today with the energetics that we have going on and the sun at this position. Now let's talk about the moon before we get into the big news of the day, which is really Mercury changing signs into Sagittarius. Whenever a planet changes signs, this is a big energetic shift. And like I said, Mercury rules our thoughts and our mind and our ideas, what we're thinking about, what we're talking about. So I will talk about the shift that is bringing in a moment, but I do want to address the moon today in early Leo. Like I said, forming a trine in fire signs with the triplicity of important, significant planets right now that is grouped very close together in Sagittarius. We currently have Mercury at 1 degree of Sag today. We have the South Node at 2 degrees of Sag. We have the Sun at 3 degrees of Sag. So it's like boom, 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 Mercury, South Node, Sun, so much energy of releasing the past and, really coming to terms with the things that have happened, what we're graduating from, essentially, what we are ready to move on from and to let go of so that we can really begin a new path that is brand new and learn and evolve and grow in a new direction. So very fated time that we are in right now. And with the moon in early Leo today, like I said, forming the trine, this is passionate and inspired, all of this fire energy, passionate, inspired thoughts, Mercury, the mind, and feelings, the moon, in a direct alignment, the trine, which trines are very positive aspects and they facilitate things and they assist things and they help things to happen. So there is just this inherent emotional alignment today between, the moon in Leo, like aligning our emotions with what we truly love and our creative potential and the joy and the love that we hold inside of our heart. And Mercury in Sagittarius with the South Node really wanting to understand the truth and how that brings things full circle and what we are realizing that we are ready to release and move on from so that we can go down this new direction and gain all of this new experience brought to us by the North Node in Gemini, ruled by Mercury in opposition. So caught in between the past and the future this week for sure, as cycles complete, things come to a culmination point and we really realize internally and mentally. It's like an alignment also between the soul, the spirit, and the mind. The spirit resonating to the sun, the soul resonating to the moon, and obviously Mercury resonating to the mind. Mercury and the sun right there with the past node or the South Node, the past karma. And in Sagittarius, this is outdated belief systems and dogmas. And with Mercury there, it's speaking about thought patterns and ways of behaving and believing and like acting based on that are no longer in alignment with our authentic truth. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius and is currently in Aquarius. So we know that everything that's going to be happening while these planets are transiting Sagittarius is really for the point of bringing us into relationship with authentic truth that is having a beneficial impact on the greater good, the greater whole, the greater collective in some type of a way. Jupiter in Sagittarius or Jupiter in Aquarius. So back to the moon in the trine to these planets that we have in early Sagittarius today. It could be, like I said, passionate, inspired thoughts and feelings related to moving on from something. Creativity is also very high right now, and we may actually feel kind of optimistic about the changes with the aspect being the trine and the moon being in Leo. It's because, you know, we know that we're realizing there's a mental shift going on, and we're realizing that these things need to happen and that they are happening, and we're coming to terms with that, and we're coming to a place where we're okay with that. Definitely though, an inspired, passionate, and motivated alignment that we have going on between the mind, like I said, the mind, Mercury in Sag, the soul, the moon in Leo, and the spirit, the sun in Sagittarius. And the recognition of what is no longer in alignment with love, Leo, joy, Leo, truth, freedom, Sagittarius, and authenticity, ruler of Sagittarius, Jupiter currently being in Aquarius, the sign of ultimate authenticity. So that is really what we have going on in terms of the overall character of the day, the emotional aspect, the mental aspect, and the sun, you know, what makes us grow, what makes us thrive. And again, that moon is in Leo, speaking to the sun. So really a day where we are aligning with truly what is in our heart, what we need to grow, what we need to thrive, what needs to culminate and come to an end so that we can release it, let it go, and go in a new direction that is truly supportive of our truth, our authenticity, our internal value, and is supporting of the cultivation of our potential as we move forward into this age of Aquarius. That is really what universe is asking of all of us right now so that we can make this transition. Now, let's talk about Mercury moving into Sagittarius today. Mercury, as I stated, as I said, rules our mind, our thoughts, what we're thinking about, what we're talking about, the ideas that are coming into our head. And in Sagittarius, this is the sign that rules like the bigger picture of things. It's very philosophical and moralistic. It's about truth and belief systems specifically. And, you know, now that Mercury is in Sag, we are more likely to experience like a higher minded energy and a much more philosophical way of dealing with information that's presented to us. And, just a more philosophical understanding of things, understanding the overall picture a little bit better with the Sagittarius energy, Mercury now in Sag. And this puts an emphasis on truth and belief systems. People, over this next few weeks, especially while we have Mercury in Sagittarius, are much more likely to be concerned with like speaking and talking about their truths and their beliefs. People are going to be very focused on what they believe to be true and thinking about it, learning about it, talking about it at this point in time. And, also because of the fact that the South Node is in early Sag, where Mercury is right now, it's shifting beliefs as well, and people learning new things and gaining new understandings and gaining new belief systems and talking about those as well. There's lots of truth coming out right now, lots of secrets uncovered, lots of things that have been hidden being exposed. We're learning a lot, and it's shifting our belief systems. It's shifting our perception of the truth in reality. And this is, I think, what is also helping us to release some of the things from the past. But with Mercury here, there's just probably about to be a lot more dialogue and discussion going on about recently discovered truths, as well as shifting belief systems and perceptions of things now. Yes, releasing old ideas and understandings that help us evolve and go down a whole new path of experience. Remember, the North Node right now is in Gemini, about gaining new ideas, learning new things, gaining a fresh understanding, gaining new information. And Mercury is opposite to that right now. And, this is leading to us having the opportunity to go down this whole new path of experience, which is creating a paradigm shift. And we know that that is the paradigm shift into the age of Aquarius. Now, remember, like I said, with all of this Sagittarius activity that we have going on right now and are going to have going on for the next few weeks as we approach Sag season and our new moon in Sagittarius, and then have that cycle play out. Sagittarius, like I said, is ruled by Jupiter, who is currently at 25 degrees of Aquarius. The Sabian symbol of 25 Aquarius is a butterfly with its right wing more perfectly formed. This could be a literal metaphor, or not a literal metaphor, that's not a thing, but this could be, a literal thing. Like for reality, we may see a gain in prominence in right-wing ideas and views and ideologies. But a lot of times when I look at and think about this symbol, I think about it in terms of the right brain. And the right brain is really where we connect to the more invisible sides of reality. It's where our intuition comes from. It's where we get our spiritual connection and our spiritual guidance. And with this specific energetic in effect, it really makes me think about a spiritual awakening. And with Jupiter at this degree, while we have these conjunctions going on with the South Node in Sagittarius, it does make me think that this whole process is being driven by this spiritual awakening, by this expanded right brain activity that is helping us to, have a closer and better relationship to our internal guidance system and feel more comfortable in acting on that. And, all this release that is going on right now is to help us align with truth and authenticity, with Jupiter being in Aquarius, so that we can raise our vibration and create the transition into the age of Aquarius, which is a vibrational shift that is happening collectively with humanity right now. And it's just causing all of these crazy things to be happening in our physical world. But it's really a vital part of this paradigm shift. And it is all about helping us all to break free from any perpetuating, perhaps even generational karma and toxic cycles, negative behavior patterns that have kept us out of the truth of our own power, essentially, and kept us in a state of victimhood that prohibited us from coming into self-mastery, coming into the truth of our potential, and really being able to co-create with the universe, which is that's the name of the game in the age of Aquarius. So we're learning these lessons now. We're collectively going on this hero's journey. We are reevaluating our relationship to our own self and to what we hold inside of us, and having to realign and shift our external world and our relationships in order so that they are in a better alignment with what we truly have inside, the value that we possess, our own inner resources that are just waiting to be tapped so they can grow into their potential, so that we can go through this frequency shift and come into a place where we truly are co-creating with reality and universe and God. And that is the age of Aquarius. So today is another significant part of that process, with these planets moving into conjunction with the South Node while we have in Sagittarius, while we have Jupiter in Aquarius. And speaking of the age of Aquarius paradigm shift, another thing that we have going on today, I mentioned in the beginning, Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, the ruler of the age of Aquarius, is retrograde right now and is retrograding back from 13 degrees of Taurus to 12 degrees of Taurus. Uranus rules, like I said, the archetype of the age of Aquarius, the frequency, the resonance, the vibration. And so changing degrees, Uranus changing degrees today could have a bit of an impact. We could see some shocks, surprises, things sort of happening out of the blue, things being thrown up in the air, some type of upheaval possibly going on. But this is happening because we are in a month right now. We are in a lunar cycle that was an exact opposition to Uranus. We are in an eclipse window right now where Mars, ruler of the Scorpio cycle, was in an exact opposition to Uranus. And Uranus is now changing degrees today. When a big outer planet shifts degrees, it tends to have a bit of an impact. So we could definitely see some Uranian activity going on today on the side. And again, well, let's talk about the degree that Uranus is moving to. Uranus is moving from 13 degrees of Taurus to 12 degrees of Taurus, and that degree is a young couple window shopping. So interestingly enough, while we're in this week right now of these fated endings and this culmination period, this completion of a cycle, this, coming to the end of something and the forgiveness and the moving on that is associated with it energetically, we have Uranus talking about it being the time to choose the features of our new lives, a young couple window shopping. We're recreating ourselves based on self-love and self-value, inner resources, and authentic truth. All of the Uranus Aquarius themes and a little bit of Sag vibes thrown in there too. And it's like, what will that look like? If we could design our own future going forward in co-creation with God and in alignment with our truth, our passion, our joy, our love, and our authenticity and our self-value, what would we pick out for ourselves if we were window shopping? What would we look for? People, places, and things. How would we design our life going forward? We are window shopping for our future right now, essentially. And Uranus, the great awakener, the great rectifier, the great fixer, by degree placement and the symbolism associated with it, is giving us the opportunity to really begin to pick out the features of our new life that are going to be in alignment with where we're going and what we're doing. moving forward. So kind of interesting symbolism coming through in the context of everything that's going on. It's like we are coming to this point of this ending, but simultaneously, the planet that's really in charge of making it all happen is giving us the opportunity to start picking out what we want our life to look like going forward. Also, Uranus was at this same degree at the end of last May until the middle of June. So it could be re-triggering things that happened back around then. The end of May through the middle of June last spring might be coming back up with Uranus going back now retrograding to this specific degree. So just another thing to keep in mind. Also, Uranus has been a major player, like I said, this entire Scorpio cycle. Yes, I already said this, so him shifting degrees could potentially set us up for some shocks and surprises, most likely in terms of endings and beginnings right now that are promised to transform our lives, because that really is the name of the game, this entire Scorpio cycle. It's really been about this death and rebirth, very transformative metamorphosis process based on uncovering of truth and how that really changes things for us. And right now we know, as a result, we're sort of like going through this process of culminations, endings, and figuring out what we are just not going to be taking with us moving forward down our new path into a future that is much more in authentic alignment with us. So that's basically what I have for my report today. Mercury changing to Sag is really the biggest thing that we have going on. That will probably be a noticeable shift. People are going to be talking a lot more about the things that they've learned, the things that they discovered, their feelings about things, their feelings about what is true and what is not, and their belief systems. Sagittarius, the only downfall of Sagittarian energy is sometimes it can be a bit dogmatic and have a bit of a God complex. But with all of this South Node energy, I don't really see that as being as much of a problem this time around, because we're really releasing a lot of the dogmas and gaining a lot of new views and beliefs. And I think that people are generally just going to be excited to be talking about these new perceptions, these new realizations, these new awakenings and epiphanies of truth that have been coming through with this whole cycle. So that's what I have for the astrology today. Another day, especially with that moon in Leo coming into the trine with these Sagittarius planets today being so close to the South Node, the Sun and Mercury. Definitely an emotional and a mental alignment today with what needs to come to an end, what needs to be released so that we can begin a whole new trajectory down a whole new path, a radically different path in alignment with our true value, our genuine truth and authenticity. So that's the astrology. Let us talk about the tarot for a quick second. When I was shuffling the cards this morning, asking Spirit to clarify the collective energy for the day today, where are we at? We got sort of an interesting message today, but it makes sense in the context of things. The first card that came out of the deck was the Four of Swords. And this card is about being in peace over something, really, like resting peacefully, like having completed some type of potentially like difficult task. We are resting safely, resting peacefully, and not in like a tremendous amount of anxiety or worry about things. So what are we resting peacefully about? The next card that came out was actually the Queen of Pentacles. And so in this card, obviously, this is like the heights of like security and comfort and abundance and riches and material possessions. And then on the back of the deck, we had the Knight of Pentacles. And this is about moving slowly towards like building something that is enduring, strong, sturdy. This card actually reminds me a bit of Saturn. It is forward movement and it is taking action, but it's very slow action. It's very planned, methodical, like detail oriented. There's no like rushing in. It is, yes. So when I put all of these cards together, I'm really like interpreting this as resting peacefully in our thoughts, of creating abundance and making plans to move in that direction. Like, the way that I'm feeling about this, it's almost like we have this sense of inner peace, that everything is going to actually be okay and that we are going to be able to potentially regain any type of lack or anything that we feel like could, we could potentially lose at this point in time. It's like for some reason, we're sort of like resting peacefully and feeling like relatively confident that we are going to be able to achieve a state of stability and abundance and comfort and having all of the material comforts and possessions that we could need. And we're actually making a plan to move in that direction. And this is like in the context of the energetics that's going on, this is telling me like we're not really struggling anymore with the things that we need to leave behind. And it's like we still, there's not this sense of fear about what we're moving on from. And instead, it's like we're actually in a phase of sort of planning or strategizing with that strategic energy that we had coming in symbolically today as well, how we are going to build our new future. And this is actually, kind of reminds me of the degree that Uranus is moving to today, a young couple window shopping, because really this is sort of telling me that there's unlimited potential in the future for success and stability and comfort and abundance. And it's almost like, and then right underneath that, I just saw that right underneath the Knight of Pentacles on the back of the deck was the World. And this is the card of completing a cycle, a culmination, coming full circle, like coming to the end of something to begin something new. So, all of these together, like it really is telling me that for some reason today, and it's probably because of the emotional alignment that's going on with the moon, the sun, Mercury, and the south node, it's like we're resting easy. We're actually making plans for and picking out and like having confidence and trusting the process of being able to come back to a place of strength and abundance once we complete this cycle, once we go full circle, once we break through and start something new. And very interesting, very interesting. So that's what the message is from the tarot today, that we are just generally like, I would expect more anxiety at this point in time, but the cards are saying that really today, and again, maybe this is because of the alignment with the moon, that we really are sort of resting easy and beginning to make these plans to be able to create this very fulfilling future once we culminate the cycle, once, the World card. So interesting, right? Yes. Now I am going to pick a synchronicity card for us today. I love these cards. This will be a message from Spirit for, I don't know, whenever you're watching this. It doesn't have to be, the day of this video if you happen to come across this video and see it, or if you're watching it as soon as it comes out. This is just a little bit of information that God wants us to know. And here's the card. Sorry. This is the exact same card that I picked yesterday. These cards keep doing this to me, and I don't know really exactly what's going on with that. There's so many cards, and I keep getting the same cards coming out. So this is clearly the message. This was the same card that came out yesterday, amazingly. It says, don't fight it. Release those subject to bondage, Hebrews 2:15. Whatever type of restriction or bondage you find yourself experiencing, don't fight against it mentally. Know God will open up a new door for you and lead you to peace and freedom. Very bizarre that this card would come out again. I was very surprised when this card came out yesterday because it is so in alignment with the astrology right now. Like with the South Node being so activated, especially in Sagittarius, and by the Sun now and by Mercury. All the energy right now is really pushing us to surrender to these changes and these fated endings that are happening right now, these completions and these culmination points, not to fight it and to surrender to the release. And this was the card that came out yesterday, and this was the card that came out today. And I'm not making it up. You guys just watched me shuffle these cards and draw one. So that's what we got, guys. Don't fight the changes. Surrender to the changes that are happening right now. And I guess that we're feeling okay about it with that Four of Swords coming up with the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. We really do need to be not resisting the changes, surrendering to these endings right now, and actively thinking about what we want our future to look like, actively picking out the people, places, and things that we want to be our life to be comprised of going forward. that are truly in alignment with our authentic truth and our self-love and what we feel we deserve and what we are willing to accept for ourselves at this point in time. So the advice from God, the advice from universe is don't fight it and surrender to these changes that are coming, and know God will open up a new door for you that will lead you to peace and freedom, and apparently also tremendous amounts of stability and abundance with the Queen of Pentacles coming up today too. And it's funny, right? Because the North Node, which is the opposition to the South Node rules the past and our karma and what we need to release and let go of so that we can go on the trajectory of the North Node. The North Node right now, North Node rules destiny and the evolutionary path ahead, the lessons we still need to learn. And right now, the North Node is at 2 degrees of Gemini, and that Sabian symbol is Santa Claus furtively filling stockings hanging by the fireplace. And it's funny that we would have gotten the Queen of Pentacles coming up today. We got the Wish card coming up yesterday. So very, very synchronistic in terms of the messages coming from Spirit, Universe, and God today to affirm the astrological energetics. So that is my video for today, you guys. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Share it with your friends if you think they would be interested. Leave me comments. I absolutely love you guys' comments. I love to read your comments. I have a Facebook page and a Facebook group if anyone is interested in joining any of that. And yeah, come back with me tomorrow, you guys. Let's see, what do we have going on tomorrow? Thursday. Oh, tomorrow we've got another very big day. We'll have Mercury coming into exact conjunction with the South Node. So today we have Mercury into Sag, shifting things, and tomorrow there's going to be some big mental releases, changes in perspective, letting go of mental thought loops and stuff like that going on. Anyways, another big day tomorrow, guys. So come back. Let's talk all about it as we go day by day through the transition of the ages from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Remember, don't fight it. Surrender to these endings that are happening because they are trying to lead us to some like really profound type of abundance and happiness and joy and fulfillment going forward. So enjoy your day, everybody, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Until then, goodbye.